Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's deep dive session. My name is Laura, and it's great that you're joining us today. I probably say that very often, but today is a special session. Actually, every deep dive is kind of special, but today is our third, what we call Pirates Behind the Scenes edition, which we actually started while we were setting up our own biggest remote event, Pirate Life, and to let you be part of our production journey of us sharing with you what we're up to, what we're struggling with, or how we actually tackle remote event productions. And so now Pirate Life is over, and it was crazy, but it was successful. We reached about 4,000 signups and offered about 100 sessions within 1 week, within 5 days. And I can tell you, it was literally a lot of learning while actually doing it. And now we're smarter now, and that's why we're here today to share these insights with you guys. And to get you all on the same page and to know how the setup here works. If you want to interact, if you just want to comment something, just place your comment in the chat, use the chat function. There's a little drop-down menu where you can decide on who to write to. If you have a specific questions to my amazing guests today, then please don't post them in the chat, put them into the Q&A tool, because in there you can then upvote the questions, and so we can answer the ones who are hopping to the top of the list first. And each deep dive of us is recorded and streamed, so just that you know that. And also, in case you want to join us with audio, with video, I always say that I'm very happy to pull you into this discussion with you. So simply use the raise your hand button, and then you can come join us on this. And before we start, also upfront, big thanks to Cologne Business and Volksbank Köln-Bonn for supporting us on this. But now, of course, I am not alone. There are 3 other pirates waiting just to get this session started. So let's welcome my lovely colleagues, Josie, Vadim, and Adriano, all 3 part of the operating team behind Pirate Life. Hi there. Good seeing your faces. How are you?
Hello.
Hi. Greetings. Great to be here.
Ready for this, to jump from behind the camera to in front of the camera? I mean, I don't have to tell you, right?
Yeah, I missed being here on the deep dive. So yeah, kind of nice to be back.
Even better. Okay, so, but to give you all a little bit more background, also that you can relate on what Josie, Adriano, and Vadim, why they're actually here today. The basic structure of Pirate Life was actually pretty simple. We had it split into basically 3 parts. So there was the classical Pirate Life content, which was then split into 2 parts. Because on one side, we had the digital content, which was produced using a software solution. And on the other hand, we had set up a studio for moderation, where personal interaction with the participants and off-topic elements were basically produced. And then in the end, we put this all together and combined it in one live stream, so it was smooth and fun to actually watch. And the lady behind that one, behind the scenes, was Josie, and the guy in front of the camera who actually had to handle all the different inputs, all the directions he got, was Adriano. So that's the 2 of them. And next to a lot of other interactive elements throughout the week, which were placed on the platform, we had another highlight in this week, which was the award show, the finals of the Northern Rhine-Westphalia's Best Digital Startup. So this one was produced as a hybrid event. So we had a physical setup in an off location, but also speakers joining virtually. And all these sources, again, combined within this live stream for our remote participants. And considering all the technical aspects happening on that part of the production, Vadim was the man to talk to. So these are some professional insights to the three of you. Do you want to add something on that? Is there something people should know about you?
So many cool things, but no.
Personal statements? No personal statements.
No, I think you covered everything.
Okay, so to kick
Great
things,
introduction, yeah.
let's just like think back to Pirate Life. What was your guys' personal highlight when you think back about the event?
People probably are sick of hearing it, but mine obviously was the interview with Paul Watson.
Yeah,
So if any of the viewers has not attended Pirate Life, we had the Sea Shepherd founder who then also stated that he's, by the way, co-founder of Greenpeace. And we expected him to, you know, join and just do a keynote on his experiences. And it seems like he expected to be interviewed. And then I had to spontaneously go ahead and interview him, which in my experience went better than expected, and that was just, yeah, it was awesome to talk to somebody with that kind of personality, someone, you know, with that experience, and being so, yeah, I don't know, I always say that people like that have a special aura that, you know, they, even if it's remote. So that was my highlight once
just wanted
again.
to say you felt it through the screen.
Yeah, you absolutely do.
Lovely.
Great
Joseph,
guy.
what about you?
My highlight, I think overall the learning on the job. I think I've never felt that more than in the Pirate Life week. We learned so many new things, not only about production, but, you know, internal communication, about planning the events, all the stuff that we preach all the time, you know, about how you can translate a live event to a remote event, all of that. Yeah, I think.
It was all one big highlight for you.
Right, yeah.
Vadim?
I gotta say my highlight was
the bad within your background, just saying that.
excuse me?
I'm still confused about the bad in your background, but it's a personal
sleep.
to your private life.
Yeah, I wanted to invite you guys into my private life a little bit. You know? As they said in what was the show called on MTV? This is where all the magic happens, I guess, or something like that. No, so my highlight actually was seeing Adriano laugh at one of my memes in the meme reaction, in the meme session, because he never laughs at my memes. But no, actually, all jokes aside, I think when everything settled, when the dust settled, in the end of the day, when I got home and I got the chance to watch what we produced, actually, that was cool. That was really cool to see that that you actually, what you did. That was really a nice takeaway for me.
I would add to your highlight, given that you were like one of the main characters producing the Out of the Box award, the tweet by Tiny Seed, who they tweeted that Rob Walling, he's a investor who attended as a jury member, and he was obviously connected via Zoom into the award. And then Tiny Seed, the investment company he founded, tweeted that he was on German television.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Because they, out of the the quality of video and also the photos, they just assumed that it had to be television, and that was funny, but also kind of a very big compliment, especially to you guys, Vadim and Patrick, and everybody who was involved in the OTB award.
All credits to you.
Yeah, definitely.
The whole team behind that did a really great job.
But maybe before we hop into our learnings and what actually happened there, I think it would be good to know for us to get some background on our participants. So can you guys, I mean, who of you actually participated in Pirate Life? Were you there or were you not there? Because that would be good to know for us. I mean, it doesn't really change anything in the learnings, but
I was there.
Me too.
There.
That's why your memes are not funny, buddy.
I mean, you just laughed again.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, it'd be great to know
what we got. So 75% were actually joining us. That's great, because then you can relate even more to what we're gonna talk about. And I would say we go ladies first, I just wanted to say I had to think about it when our direction studio for the Pirate Life content that was set up in a separate room in our office building, and we have these glass doors where you can always sneak in. And I personally was not included into that part of the production. So I always walked by and sneaked in and looked through the window what was actually going on there. But within this week, seriously, Josie and also Rihanna, they lived in this room. So they still showered, they still smell good, but they lived in there. So Josie, what was happening in there? Tell our people, tell our participants.
Right. So yeah, we spent a good amount of time that week in that room. And there was a lot happening backstage, a lot of stuff that our participants didn't see. Thank God, because there was a lot of chaos, to be honest. we're not going to play it cool and say everything went smoothly. No, like I said in the beginning, there were a lot of learnings that came through, last minute changes and a lot of craziness. So yeah, we had a big setup in this room. It's not a huge room, and it was kind of all squeezed in here. So we had a mix of hardware and software. I know we talked about this in another deep dive of us, but yeah, so we had that mixed setup. So we had all the controls, lots of screens and mics and cameras and all of that stuff. So that was a really interesting setup. Yeah.
Love it.
Right. So that was basically our living room, bedroom, kitchen, whatever, for that for those days.
Holly to bring in you drinks and food and stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna miss that. We had everything in one spot. We were eating there, working, sleeping. Well, not really sleeping. Maybe some power naps on the couch in little session breaks. But yeah, mainly, I think one thing that we should add to have people understand why we chose that setup is that at the beginning of Pirate Life, when we started planning this event, for us that was kind of a community service for the company, right? Like we were just as affected by COVID as any other company, and especially any other event company. So I don't want to say it was like 100% no budget production, but we had a very, very tight budget, right? So I think why we were able to pull it off in the way that we did was because we had good connections, with tech suppliers, and we already had a lot of experience in the field. But all in all, we tried to, have a low budget and work with that. And so that's why we tried that mixture setup. So we did have the hardware from our tech suppliers, but then also we worked with the software, kind of just, to try it out. At the beginning, we weren't sure if it's gonna look nice, if it's gonna work well, but we said, at least nobody's paying us to do this. So if it looks completely terrible, that's our fault and our learning. But it worked out really well, actually. The software worked well. Thanks for those memories.
Look at these concentrated faces.
Just underlining your the things you're saying with some nice pictures. I mean, I think good insights.
100% focus.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it worked really nice. I don't know if this goes too much into detail, but we worked with the software called StreamYard, which is fairly affordable, and it's a nice opportunity to brand your live stream straight away and design it without investing too much money and time. So that was a really good experience for us, and I hope for the participants as well. And
it's really intuitive, right? So
yeah.
To handle very great.
Yeah, totally. So that kind of brings me to one thing that I wanted to talk about, was the speakers, because I think 99% of the speakers gave us really, really good feedback for the software, because it was so easy to handle for them, and so that was really, really good, a big plus. I do want to add though that with speakers, kind of jumping in between topics here, but once you let me talk, I talk.
That's good. Go.
So because one of our goals was, we're doing this with pretty much no budget, but we want to make it as big as possible, right? That's always our focus. Like from nothing, make the most of it. And that was a real challenge at the beginning, but then we kind of realized, like I said, the things that we preach, a lot of things like were actually true. So because I usually take care of our content, my goal was to have a very international setup, a very international lineup of speakers, and then also, just high quality speakers, right? That maybe usually don't have the time or, don't make the effort to join your event, because if you don't pay them, I don't know, like 20K or something, right? So at the beginning, that was a little challenging, but it turned out to work really well. I think we had speakers from over 15 different countries participating, so that was really cool. But important was that you really do check their technical setup with every single one of them. I think that was one of the big learnings. It doesn't matter if they're on the main stage, with a big keynote, or if they're in a discussion table somewhere, off the main stage in a different call. Like that was really, really important. I think at some point we thought that everyone's so used to Zoom calls now, and everyone knows how it works, but it's not really true. It makes a big difference. Yeah, no, it makes a big difference. Also, if you have your team call in the morning and you just jump on a Zoom call, or if you really want to present yourself and your company and you speak in front of 4,000 people, even though it's online, right? Yeah. So definitely keep that in mind, to kind of, calm them down, give them as many, help as they need, many tech checks as they need. So what we did, and that was a good thing as well.
That was me. Not performing that well, but you coming to the help desk, am I right?
No, yeah. That was, I know at some points it was just a capacity question, because every single one of our team was busy doing something, right? But in general, that was a good thing to set up a help desk for speakers, because then you don't have to be on your phone all the time and answer calls, but there's one dedicated person sitting in front of their laptop and helping speakers with whatever they need during the whole time of the event. So that was really good. That helped a lot. Yeah. I feel like I'm talking too much. Is that true?
But it's also like, as we said, with the speakers, with the help desk, for me, it felt like from day to day, we realized that what we can do even better the next day, which was really cool, that we had that long period to really put our own learnings into place right away.
Yeah, for sure. We had that, I think, so the event ran from Monday to Friday, and I think Tuesday night, we finished the live stream, and then Adriano sat down next to me and he was like, all right, we're Tuesday night, what can we change? Like, what can we do better? Because we still have 3 days to go. Yeah. So that was nice. That was a good thing, yeah.
Maybe because we're talking about things that we changed and something we learned due to fuck ups. Maybe we can talk about the issue with having discussion tables, something that we underestimated heavily. So yeah, maybe you can tell something about that, Josie.
Sure. So because we work with different platforms, different softwares.
Right.
I feel like we really we're getting to the gist of things and what works and what doesn't. And it's really in the details. So I hope it's not bad if I say like what worked and what didn't, especially what didn't. But we the first 2 or 3 days we worked with the platform, the software Jitsi, and as it might be a good software for other purposes and simple calls, it really wasn't the best choice for what we had planned. because in general, you can imagine, having 15 to 20 people in a call trying to discuss any kind of topic. That's already kind of a challenge. And Jitsi was just not the best solution for that. So we had problems for speakers because participants would join the call with their mic turned on, and that was just disturbing to the whole session. So then I think halfway through, or that was also something we did on Tuesday or Wednesday morning or something, we just said, we just don't want to do it. So we kind of spent a little time on, a little overtime, just changing the whole setup of the discussion tables and changing to Zoom, which improved the whole experience, by 100.
So that was that one, like when you look at the platform things, but then you were saying we used, you're now really familiar with the software, but on the other side, you use the hardware. Can you maybe, so that people listening to us get like a better understanding for what's actually the difference?
Right.
Or what is the challenge with both of these elements?
Right. So basically the software is great if you have more like, straightforward content. So it's great for keynotes. Also for panels, it's great. But what it's missing is the participants' interaction. Because you have a limited amount of people that can join that call and can be live streamed. And that's basically also the main reason, I would say, why we chose the mix with the hardware, because in the hardware, you have so many more options. You can integrate Zoom calls, you can integrate different Zoom calls and, one frame, one picture, so to speak. That's why we chose to kind of go that extra mile and switch back and forth. That was also a little stressful from time to time, just because mentally you have to switch as well, right? You're working with the hardware, and there's so many buttons and settings, and everything is crazy. And then you kind of go to software that you do the direction from just from your laptop. And there's different buttons and different things that you have to
A lot of buttons.
a lot of buttons in that week. So yeah, that was kind of challenging. But basically you kind of have to consider,
just to see, I mean, those weren't even all the laptops. So we had 2 more laptops, the private laptop of Josie and I think also a private one of Lilith. And just a picture of how complicated it can look. And this is very basic. So just some people get an understanding of what hardware means. Literally, this box here on the right, which is the streaming thing, and the sounds and all the laptops that play the videos and this and that. So yeah, big kudos again for managing all of that with 2 people.
Yeah, it was. I remember one morning, we had all the settings just as we had the night before. Everything should have worked perfectly fine, and we didn't have any sound. So Adriano was, starting.
Like, well, how do you call it? What's the word for it?
Mime?
Mute?
Yeah.
Mime.
You mean a sign language or mining?
That was actually the opening.
It's like, hello, everybody.
Yeah. And he was talking to the mic, as if anything went wrong. And me and my colleague were looking at the screen, and I didn't have sound, and so we checked the live stream, and there was no sound. So we were basically just freaking out because look at all these buttons again, and you have no clue what's wrong.
Don't underestimate how many things can go wrong. Seriously, there are 20 different ways how to lose your sound.
It's crazy. I mean, you had everything correctly set up, and I think the only thing that was missing was really the on button for the sound, right? Just that the mics were turned off, I think.
On the one occasion, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like one little button can screw you up completely.
No, but Josie's talking about the time that we didn't change anything, but it just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I still don't know what happened.
And Ariana, you were basically the face of the thing. So any fuck up that happened, you had to smile and like get it done. Just like one switch back to when we when we thought about setting up the studio, that was actually quite spontaneous. So it wasn't planned from the beginning on. And our main goal was actually to overcome this social distance, to create like some personal touch points, to make the scene, that the people behind the scenes kind of visible and approachable, because the theme of Pirate Life, like real, raw, authentic, that was like all this, the vision of this studio. So what would you say? Did we actually, as the face of Pirate Life, would you say we managed to like spread the pirate spirit with this?
I think as we did it as good as we, or as close as we could get to a pirate experience, especially to a remote pirate experience. I mean, our offline event, especially Pirate Summit, that many people missed this year, and they were expecting something to replace it, that we intentionally said it won't be a Pirate Summit online. But obviously, when it's a pirate event, many people will just assume that it's a Pirate Summit replacement, but it's a whole nother story. I think the idea of creating a pirate lounge and making us as approachable as possible got us very close to being making a pirate experience. But that's only one side. The other side is the part that Josie played, with content. So we, even though we had some issues with discussion tables and interaction wise things, it still was very important, in my opinion, not to just have keynotes. So yeah, considering all of those things, Pirate Lounge and then 24/7 open Slido and pirate-like content, and just the honesty and the approachability of us, I would say we did the best we could. And given the written feedback on the feedback form, people also liked it. There were literally people who said, "Hey, never will come close to Pirate Summit." Yeah, duh. That's not the not the goal of it. But they still said, "But honestly, I didn't expect it to be that good." So yeah, I think
and
we did.
how is it for you? I mean, I know you're brilliant moderator when you're on stage, and I know you as a fun colleague who's like, yeah, you're like in the physical world perfect, in front of the camera as well, rocking it. But was it different for you as moderator? Did you have to adjust something, like also the interaction with the participants themselves, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking for a picture that I will share in a few moments. Okay, yeah, maybe that one's good. So it was very, very different. I already experienced the difference with the Exec Introtech remote. We also had a television-like setup with, 2 cameras and 2 different angles. And that was the first time I had to get used to speaking into a camera. I learned a lot of things there already, so it wasn't that awkward again, but it was a little bit different still because the setup was different. At Exec Introtech, I was more in a standing situation that was more formal, so it was easier not to be weird or do things that may be weird or be perceived as weird. So I underestimated this, to be honest. I was like, oh cool, we're gonna have a pirate lounge with a couch and I will be just sitting there, and I know how to talk to a camera already. One thing that was different to Exec Introtech is that we used a little bit different setup. So this was my main not opponent, but the person I was talking to. And
Josie or the light?
The light. Josie was always just in the background, like.
You built like a personal connection to the light, like
Yeah, no, that's the thing. So I underestimated first of all the length of sessions that I had to speak with people, and then speaking right into the camera. So on the one side, you don't get any feedback. It's just weird speaking to a camera and acting as if you're talking to the people. And the other thing is this light ring. It was extremely exhausting.
I can imagine.
So yeah, that's something I underestimated. That, in my opinion, also affected me a little bit. And the other side is, um, given that it was this, couch setup, I maybe got too comfortable sometimes, and that is something I should have prepared better in terms of how to moderate in such a setup, like many TV settings already do. They always have these couches, but you never see them, like sometimes I did, just relax, like you're at home. And even though you're in a relaxed setup, it looks weird to people. Also, things like, even though I was very interested in listening to a speaker, I tend to look away and be, a little bit of in my head. But that looks as if I were distracted or not interested, although I'm not. So the viewers lose the interest. And I think also one feedback we could implement, and it was very helpful at the first day, is that Josie said, I don't remember which session it was, but when I talked to the camera very directly and very engaging, she felt like I was talking to her, and she didn't even think about leaving. So that's something that's extremely important, that still right now it's difficult for me, because I'd rather like to be talking like I'm on stage where you talk to many people around.
Yeah.
But yeah, doesn't work. So if any of you is in the moderating business, make sure to maybe do a masterclass online or attend a workshop on moderating into a camera, because it's going to be different. Yeah.
But I want to add to that, because even though you said, kind of introducing the speakers or doing the Q&As with them, maybe you could have set up a little straighter or whatever to look more interested, even though you were interested. On the other hand, I feel like, for the lunch sessions that we did there, I thought that was kind of nice, because 100% of the lunch sessions on the couch were unscripted, and I think that's kind of how we made it possible to participants to feel a little bit more personal and in touch with us.
Yeah.
It was 100% you, and you spent a lot of time with Luke on that couch as well, just chatting with the two of you, and nothing was scripted. So at sometimes you made jokes, and afterwards you were like, oh, probably shouldn't have said that, but that's what makes it personal.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think the difficulty was also in the switch between those things. When I think about a moderator on TV, when she or he interviews a personality, they are very in the interview mode, and as soon as they switch over to the couch, they know exactly how do the switch. And I think that was something that made it or was a little bit difficult, that I underestimated. So yeah, I'm with you that the Pirate Lounge was meant to be personal, so I didn't need to script anything. Yeah, but especially listening to speakers talking to me, and just smiling into a very bright ring, like you're looking at them, that was kind of difficult without trying to look on the right side to see their actual face. Yeah, so maybe also a learning that is a mix of moderation and moderating and technical is think about your setup as early as you can, in terms of where will be a screen where you see the speaker, will you have a teleprompter, and all those things. Because once again, we underestimated that. I was like, okay, I get a mic, I sit down, and I know where the camera is, but that would have helped a lot.
But it's not only the virtual speaker. I mean, when you have a speaker virtually joining you, that's like, I can imagine that this is different on one point, but on the other side, you also had the people had the ability to chat constantly, like place their questions and their feedback into the chat. So I think, or I imagine this as being even more difficult, to just have that as reaction. So to not even have the voice of the person, but to still have like a conversation going.
Yeah. Definitely. So again, different sides of this. One is that you obviously don't have the instant feedback of people. And sometimes when you're on stage and you say something or do something that you consider as good, you see in the face of the people that it was either not well received or similar. And in this case, you can't. So all you can do is, keep calm and carry on. And yeah, just I think there was also a feedback that was very, very nice in terms of hey, the moderator got how to use this new user experience and user interface. So that's actually something I did prepare in terms of how do I, try to interact with the speaker while I look at the questions and things like, oh, hey, John from wherever just asked a question. Hey, John, and maybe Tom can give you an answer instead of just reading the questions. So that was a little detail that I think many people like, because if you put on the question and someone says like, oh, look, Laura's asking a question, you're like, oh, cool, that's my question.
Yeah.
So things, little details like that can make it more personal and
feeling
help.
I'm actually being heard, like
Exactly.
my voice.
Yeah, and never get tired of saying, hey guys, chat with us, ask questions, because you just have to get the people moving.
Yeah, good point. So if you don't mind, Vadim was so silent still the last few minutes. Now, I already announced it in the beginning. And next to all the things that were going on in the studio and around the content of Pirate Life, we also had this crazy hybrid production stream of the award show. And this, seriously, it was massive. As Adriano just said, it was even perceived as TV production with a lot of light and special effects. And we had this off location where the studio was set up, and Vadim were in the lead for this. And seriously, just for me, I was there. I had like a little role taking care of the speakers and doing the tech ups with them before they're pulled into the stream. And there might be some event organizers among our participants, but then you might know this feeling, this tense feeling, when you look at the physical event, when a speaker enters the stage and you as an organizer, you stand there and you think, is the mic working? It's like this one moment, full adrenaline level is super high. And this feeling, seriously, I had this ongoingly throughout the entire production, because I don't know, Vadim, credits to you that you kept your head so cool and stayed on top of this entire thing for like, what was it, 4 hours ongoing or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah. And also, we've done productions before, right? Also, we've done those remote events. We've done studio productions as well. And wait, I just might show you what it looks like in terms of production plan. Oh wait, Adi, would you mind? Yeah, perfect. I wanted to share my screen.
I was muted again.
Wait, I'm a little difficulties here.
Yeah, the tech pros.
Moderator, take over.
There we go.
I'm just waiting.
I think we're good, right? Yeah, we're good now.
Vadim, yeah.
This was actually the production plan we had for the what was it, Exec Insurtech, the second event we did. It was actually the first one we did with the studio. So if we scroll, this was day 2. You can see it's pretty detailed, not as you perceive an agenda, because it's in an agenda you have the time, you have a speaker, and that's basically it. And it's also a rough time because you feel like, okay, maybe they might overdo it, like 5 minutes. We can get those 5 minutes somewhere else. So you're not on a tight schedule. So if we scroll down here, you can see we have like 53, what's it called?
Or lines.
Excellent. Either way, yeah. So we had those, and it was okay. We did fairly well. The important thing here was maybe that We've had a lot of breaks in there, so we always had the chance to refocus whenever we had a break, or we had pre-recorded content, so we just had to click on play basically, and then we were like, okay, we could take a breather. Yeah, exactly. We could like cool down for a few minutes, eat something, drink something, and then refocus, regroup, and challenge the next block of content, so to speak. And yeah, if we now take a look at the production plan for the specific award show, which is right here. So the production plan I just showed you was like from, I think, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. or something like that. So it was also 4 hours, maybe a little longer. And this one starts at 6 p.m. basically at 6:30. And as you can see, we're already here somewhere. It's just 1 hour. And we go on and we go on. And here we're done. We're done here. So it was like 4 hours of just like going through the paces. And yeah, it really was 4 hours of being concentrated. It was yeah, we didn't have any breaks. The largest break we had was, I think, like a keynote, but even during a keynote, there's always room for some mishaps. Someone might have no audio, or the video might start to lag. So you always got to have someone, even if it's not me as the producer, you got to have someone listening with one ear. Or you also have people, so you tell them you have a 30-minute keynote, and you think, okay, you also try to stress that it's, you know, you have 30 minutes, please do those 30 minutes. But then again, you know what it's like. So sometimes you just rush through some things, and then it's all of a sudden it's 25 minutes or 20 minutes. And as you're live, you don't have any chance to feedback. So all of a sudden, even though you planned in 30 minutes, it's 20 minutes, and then you got to react. You got to be like, okay, I got to get the moderator on stage and everything, and you got to have everything on your mind. And yeah, that was pretty much to have, especially because you have all sorts of people running around. Maybe now is a good time to share the setup, Adriano, so I can tell.
Yeah, wait, let me share. So yes. Yeah, how we go?
Great. So that was the stage, and as you can see, we have we also had live audience, because we had a little bit of a hybrid event. So on the one side, we had the ministry sitting there. On the other one, we had the startups who were pitching. It was also due to Corona confirmation, so we didn't mix up too many different groups of people. And yeah, this was only the stage. So we have the cameras in front, we have the light show, as you can see on the stage a little bit, which also was a novelty for us. We didn't have, except for maybe the ring, we didn't have many lights. And this was also something we had to take into account in our production plan. So at what point do we want to have which light setting and which light show? And yeah, this was a lot to handle. Lucky for us, we had a great crew behind us. So we had technicians, and of course they were specialists in their fields, so they knew what to do and when. But of course, as there is always, yeah. So this is the guy in the front is the audio technician.
That's the war room.
That's the war room. That's who went to war, yeah. So the guy in the front was the person, was the technician who was dealing with the audio equipment. So he always had to listen and to also have the visual. This is because this is why we was sitting. So this little door in front of him is like the entrance from the war room to the stage, so to speak. So he had the visuals, and he was seeing who was talking when. So he knew when to put who on the mic, so to speak. So this was just the audio part. Then we had the light show. He was also sitting in front, and just waiting on cues, and then putting the light show on. And right next to me, I had the production crew who was streaming. Yeah, we were having a software production. So he had everything on his laptop, on his computer. He had a little small screen where he had the stream preview. And there was like, since we had this crazy production, this TV production. We did not only have 2 cameras, but I think we had like 4 or 5 even.
Yeah.
So we had, I think, 3 stationary cameras. So the picture was always the same. Yeah, maybe Adriano can show you a little one
Yeah,
was
I'm
top,
looking if
the other
there's
one was on
any.
the side. But then we also had this, we had a cameraman who was moving around with the camera. And so so the guy next to me, he was always in constant contact with the cameraman and telling him when he's on which camera, so he could move around and not move through the live stream, so to speak. And then again, I was always talking to him as to which camera I want to be live right now.
And
So,
you were not talking. You were like, I mean, just
So focus.
you were like, you always call it calling shots, because when I was sitting there, it was also like, Vadim is not like, can you please do this and this and this? It goes like, ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam. So it's like really straight. And for me, it was also, when you pull your team into the production, it's weird because you think, yeah, okay, the speaker is ready. And he's like, no, I want speaker ready. Yes, speaker ready.
yeah.
No.
So that's also a very important point you're bringing up. So we've done these things before, and we've done it with a certain team, so we've gotten used to it by now. So everybody knows the deal, what to do, and everything. But it always needs to be so we're live, so we're basically having a live production. So there is like the margin for fuck ups is really, really small, and this is why I don't want to have like, since we're not in a live setting, physically, you can't be like, okay, no, it's cool, we're just going to bring him upstage and like half a minute later. It's like, no, because the moderator is on stage, he's producing a live video, and if we don't have the speaker ready, I then again have to be on the talkback, which is a microphone, and the moderator has an in-earpiece where he just hears to my voice when for example, we don't have the speaker ready, and I'll be like, okay, James. James was our moderator back in this production. Like, okay, James, I need to buy us some more time. And then he's just, because he needs to ramble on. He needs to go on like, okay, and needs to get some things out of his mind and just try to keep the show going. And then I just need clear command. So I just want to know if the speaker is ready. And this is also a point where you have to brief your team, just to if I ask you if the speaker is ready, I don't want to hear like, is he going to be ready in half a minute or a minute? I just want to know, is he ready or not? Because with this piece of information, I can then go on to the moderator and give him his instructions and everything. So yeah, when it comes to wording, it can also get a little tough. So if I yelled at you a little bit, please don't take it too hard on me. It's not with bad intentions. It's just like we're on a tight schedule and everything.
But Vadim, what would you say, because you just talked about calling shots and this very clear communication, what else, especially in a hybrid setting, is helpful because the things you just mentioned also usually work in the offline event production, that you have a very clear communication, and especially when you use like walkie-talkies. But I imagine, just seeing the setup and the plan you just showed us, that it's double the difficulty in terms of having to keep an eye on the remote speakers and people and the offline things. Is there anything that helped you to manage that simultaneously?
What was really cool at some point, because you get a groove, the first few cuts and getting speakers in is going to be a little rusty because it's just like it's like when you're doing sports, you're not warmed up, and after you've done it a couple of times, it just gets, the people know what you want, the people get used to it, so the team you're working with, and that makes it a lot easier. What was also I think important in this hybrid setting was that I've had a look on the stage, so I was always seeing, for example, we had a jury consisting of the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Mr. Pinkwart, and another person, I think he was the CEO of the NRW Bank, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And he was, they were there physically, but we also had a jury of 3 people remote, and they were also in the studio on screen. So it was also always important to like have the visual checkup. Okay, they're on screen, so now we can talk to them, and to see that, to have this picture in mind was really helpful at that point.
It might be even more challenging when you're doing the production or the direction from a studio that does, where, like, for example,
Separated.
it as at the
Yeah.
Intertech, where the production or the direction studio was in a different
Mhm.
room, so you only communicated via audio, right?
Yes. So that's funny, because I remember like talking. Adriano was our moderator, and I was trying to talk to him, or Patrick was trying to talk to him, and then so don't take this wrong, Adriano, because there's like a slight difference between a highly professional moderator and someone who's like learning on the job, like you are, which you're doing a great job. Just I want to stress that. But so Adriano was always like, when I told him something, he was always like, like just like giving me a little side into the camera, so I knew he gotten what I said.
Yeah. Just the
James,
natural reaction, you mean?
Yeah, of course. And for me, it was also a good feedback. But
yeah,
the people who are viewing might be thinking, okay, what's this guy doing?
but just in my defense, I did that on purpose actually, but I tried to blend it into the conversation with the speaker. So I just tried to go, interesting. But I mean, it doesn't make any sense unless I tell you that I wanted to do it. So
maybe like even the participants didn't notice as to that extent, but yeah, but it's crazy. Like with James, so he was just like going on. Like I was talking, okay, please keep going. We need like 5 more minutes, and he was just like, he was maybe what's also important. So he was talking even though he was hearing me on his mic, and for you it probably wasn't that easy. So we were always like having a little break in between when you were listening, and I was trying to keep my messages short.
That's so difficult. So yeah.
So to everyone who's a moderator, man, like, take my hat off. This is one hell of a job.
And to everybody who's a producer, go get yourself a professional moderator.
or Adriano.
But if you have to save some money,
I can really recommend my friend Adriano here, my colleague. He's very awesome. He's also got
50% off.
Do that.
20% fee for me, please, for the introduction. No,
I think we're talking for all of us. It was a really professional production in general, but it was also, we said that, a lot of fun, and I think you guys also get the feeling when listening to us that it was really fun setting up this event. And I was just thinking back to just like popping up some other example when we had the life hackathon. No, what was it? The life hack sessions with Adriano in the studio. It was which was totally off topic, and he had to build a filter, a water filter, and Luke like gave him the stuff, and he had to build it. And then Luke was so convinced on the other side, it didn't work at all. It didn't work. The water was still super dirty, but Lucas was still drinking it. And that was a really fun part. Maybe to wrap it up, what was you guys?
I just want to add, some of those parts we didn't even know from the production what was happening. So I myself, I was watching that, and I thought he definitely had like, I don't know, like a soda in there or something.
Asking me before, he was like, I gave him the stuff, and he was like, Laura, is this drinkable? It's just dirt, right? And I was like, yeah, it's just dirt. So no chemicals. I said, no, just chemicals. No chemicals, just dirt. So we can drink it. Yeah, you can drink it. You don't want to, but you can.
Right. You want to wrap it up?
No, I want to have funny moments from you guys.
Everything for the show. The show must go on. Huh?
Okay.
Funny moments. One of my favorite moments. One of my favorite moments was when we had Robin in the studio for the yoga session. And I don't know, whoever watched it, Adriano told the audience that he's going to participate.
Which I did.
He kind of did. There was maybe half a square meter between me and the wall, and he kind of used that space. There we go.
Participating?
And I can tell you he was really struggling. That was really funny because I had to focus on the direction, and then he was kind of just laying on the floor at some point.
Love it. Oh yeah, that was a mic.
There we go.
I just gave up.
Nice one.
Yeah. No, actually, yeah. Thinking about that, about funny and also nice moments, I really liked the Pirate Lounge in terms of getting me from out of the tension of one session to the other, you know. So that was a nice part, and also actually being able to participate in those sessions. It really felt like this kind of morning shows in television, you know, where they invite a guest and then they try to do whatever that people does, whether it's a circus artist or anything. So yeah, it was very, very much fun. A lot of muscle soreness the next day, but
Even if you don't have a favorite funny moment, you can also take over the casual closing question that we're always doing in this deep dive.
I don't have a funny moment, but I have a little what the hell moment. So
Okay.
I might recall real quick. So we had this one break, so to speak, in this whole production, and this was when someone was speaking on a keynote, and the keynote was in the stream, and I was like, okay, cool, I can take a breather now. And all of a sudden, Mark, who was the manager of this project, who really did a great job, hats off to him in this moment. But then he took the mic and got on stage, and all of a sudden he started, yeah, so, and I hope nobody's hearing me right now. And I'm like, what the hell? So I have the stream on my ear, and I'm like, why am I hearing him? And I'm like yelling to everybody, like, please cut him off, cut him off. Yeah, he was like trying to talk to the studio audience and tell them that, you know, hey, now I have a little breather. But yeah, he was also talking to our keynote speaker, who was a little confused, but kudos to him. He just kept going like a Rolling Stone.
But he reacted.
He did.
A little bit, yeah.
Just wanted to add on that to show how important every single step of planning is. I assume it was not planned that Mark goes on stage, takes the microphone and talks to the people, was it?
I did not know anything about
Exactly. So I just assume he was like, okay, we have a pause right now.
Yeah.
Maybe I can update our viewers on what we're doing right now. And because nobody knew about that, and he just, you know, assumed he will not be heard. So yeah.
Yeah, before that, it might have been practical for me to just like tell the technicians, okay, so we're gonna have Mark jump on stage in a couple of minutes, just so you know. So when the keynote's on, yeah. So we didn't have that, and we have a lesson learned instead.
Frank says that's life. Yeah, that's true. That's life. It happens. I mean, it's it happens.
Frank knows what's up.
Hey guys, looking at the time, I think we skipped the closing question. Our remote event's here to stay, because
yes,
I'm sure we're all saying yes.
Yes, of
no
course.
idea what's happening with Pirate Life, with Pirate Summit next year, but we're super.
We'll keep you up to date. Yeah.
Yes, and we'll keep you informed about what's going on. But what we know is what is happening next week, because there is still a lot of technology. Developing out there, and it's developing fast. So Ben Costantini from Startup Sesame and me, we're going to kick off another demo session where we invite several platform providers, which will pitch their product super fast, super precise, 3-minute pitch and 3-minute Q&A. So this is for us, and I think also for you, super valuable to like stay on top of what is actually out there, what solutions are what solutions are developing, which are the newest innovations, and to find the best solution for setting up your own remote event. So if you don't want to miss that, we're gonna hop on that one next Wednesday, 5 p.m. And it will be fun if you're joining us. I think it's gonna be intense and fun, same as Pirate Life was. And thank you to you three for sharing your insights.
Thanks to you.
Always a pleasure
for having us.
to you.
It was really a lot of fun.
And thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Hope you liked the insights. They were valuable for you, and you can like put them into practice yourself. If you have any further questions, we already pushed our contact details into the chat. So feel free to contact us anytime, any of us. So yeah, have a lovely evening, and thank you. See you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye guys, take care.
Bye.